Hi, everyone. Welcome to Green Party Tea Sundays. As you saw before, I did leave you a message to say, hey, I am traveling. However, I will be here. So it is late today, and we are only going to go to 7 because the Green live stream with the Illinois Green Party will be coming on at 7 Eastern time because they are petitioning to get on that ballot. They're trying to get signatures, so they changed from their usual spot at 1 p.m. Eastern on Saturdays to do the 7 p.m. Eastern spot on Sundays so they can get all the signatures that they needed. So this is something we actually need to talk about and address. Signature getting, ballot access, all those things. We have talked about this several times, absolutely several times. But the thing that matters the most is that we are seeing in real time how maniacal, and I hope I'm using that word in the best way, the duopoly is being in regards to ballot access. So you have the Illinois Green Party got a shortened time to gather signatures to get on the ballot. And then you have the issue coming from none other than Butch Ware himself. Okay. And the issue with having Butch Ware going through so much is that he is supposed to be on the ballot in California to be the governor. However, what happened is a last minute, and when I say last minute, I mean 10-minute issue where they sent an email for him to update something at 4:50 and he had to have it by 5 p.m. and he was in class until 6 p.m. Tell me how that's fair. It's not. So with that being said, how is he supposed to get on the ballot? And the issue, from what my understanding is, it stemmed from a 2023 or phone number that he had. And it's like, if you will do that to put down, and I have to say put down in the best sense of the word, but if you will do that to have a candidate not be on the ballot because you're afraid for whatever reason for him to be there, it's time for change. Okay. And if the change is not coming soon, we are going to have to do better. I do want to see if I can find the message that he put out and play it here because it matters. And I've seen it on Instagram. I've seen it on Facebook. And now it's just like, I'm not going to show you anything. So I think I found it. And I'm going to get it up here so I can get it played for you all so we can all see it. And you'd have to just give me just a minute. I think it's on this tab. Yeah, it's on this tab. Okay. So here we go. Here it is. And I'm going to try to make sure that the volume is up on it so you can hear what he is saying. And I hope that it does work because this is one of my other firsts to try to do something here. So let me try to get that going and let's see what we got.
First, California last, Democrat establishment in this state is trying to keep the only Muslim candidate off the ballot entirely. We're going to stop them, and I'm going to tell you how at the end of this video. But first, I'm going to give you the who, what, when, where, why. First, the who. I'm Butch Ware, and I'm the Green Party candidate for governor in the state of California. You might know me as the Green Party vice presidential candidate. We finished third in 2024 presidential elections. To this system, I am the most dangerous man in America because I am polling only 8 points off the lead in an open primary. They can hear me breathing down their neck and they can feel me coming and they are afraid. So let's talk about the what and the where. They are claiming that that a ticky-tack clerical error in my filing documents is going to take away your right to vote for an independent third-party candidate in this election. The where? Right here at the county elections office. I filed all of the paperwork, dotted every I, crossed every T. But up in Sacramento, some paper pusher decided because I had not redacted my phone number from a copy of my 2023 tax return that they were going to throw out my entire dossier. Yes, that's right. They have resorted to that level of desperation, which brings us to the when. They gave me 10 minutes to respond to their document request. We received a message at 4:50 p.m. saying that we had to correct the redacted document by 5 p.m. or we would be disqualified entirely. You can smell the desperation on them. And that brings us to the why. These people are deathly terrified of you having a candidate on the ballot that is going to divest from war, divest from genocide, bring you universal single-payer health care, housing first, and human rights. They're terrified of someone who will stand up for immigrant rights and immigrant communities, for the trans community, and yes, for my Muslim community. They are deathly afraid of a Black Muslim anti-Zionist on that ballot because they know that we are poised to win. Here's what you can do. Here is your call to action. Call the Secretary of State, Shirley Weber, a Gavin Newsom appointee who claims that she's there to empower marginalized voters and extend the franchise to everyone. And they are applying a poll tax, trying to get me off of the ballot by saying, count how many beans are in that jar, boy. Call up Shirley Weber and tell her to put Butch on the ballot. You can also donate to our legal fund. The reason why Zionist authorities do this is they want you chasing your tail and going to court, wasting time on lawsuits, nuisance lawsuits, instead of fighting for the people. Donate to the legal fund and spread the word widely. They are trying to keep my name out of the news because they know that when people hear this message, we win. They try to block me off the ballot. Yeah, they tried to block Butch off the ballot. But you can help us break through and bust back. I'm Butch Ware. I'm running for governor in the state of California to bring the power back to the people. Join the fight at butchwareforgov.com and take the fight to these people.
So with that being said, and I want to keep this up on the screen just in case you guys need to hear it or see it again, they are definitely trying to keep him off the ballot. And it's just like I said, 10 minutes for a phone number in 2023. Why? So here's what they're asking you to do. Call Secretary of State Shirley Weber at 916-657-2166 and tell her to let Butch on the ballot. You can donate to the legal fund and share this video. This video that I'm sharing right now is on Butch Ware's Instagram page. And also go to Butch Ware, the number 4, govgov.com for all upcoming things, anything to do with his campaign. And when you're doing this, if you're sharing or if you're talking about, hey, I did call and I did this, make a video about it. Or you can make a video while you're calling and make sure to put the hashtag Let Butch Run, hashtag ballot suppression, hashtag California, hashtag divest, hashtag Butch Ware. We want to make sure we get those hashtags in there because it kind of gets everything to that one good spot. So again, it is a great idea to make the call and put it on as a video so people know you're not just saying you're calling, you're actually doing the call, and it'll call people out. You can tag the Board of Elections and Shirley Weber in that video to say, I did call and you are not listening. So all those California residents, people that are not even in California, hey, this ballot access is for everyone. And that is the point. It's about democracy. Basically, this is another form of lawfare being used against the Green Party when they're trying to get their candidates on the ballot, because as you can tell, this is voter suppression. If he's not able to be on the ballot, then democracy has not prevailed. That means that we are only getting the choices that they want us to have instead of the choices that we have available. It stops us from being able to vote for what we want versus voting against what we don't want, those evils. Because please take note, when you are voting for the lesser of two evils, you are still voting for evil. So in order to actually vote for what you want, You have to go past those choices. And if they're not letting the other choices on the ballot, then you are not getting democracy as it is supposed to be. So join the fight with Butch Ware. Also, with the Illinois Green Party and other Green parties across the country who are now in that phase where they are trying to gather ballot access, because those signatures mean everything. Everything, everything. They absolutely do. So when we are talking about, hey, ballot access is something that costs money, as you can see, you need a legal fund, because guaranteed somebody's going to try to sue for this, and they want us using all our money in legal fees, just like they did here in North Carolina when Matt Ho ran, and we had to have the legal fees and all that other stuff. And even though they threw it out as a frivolous lawsuit, they did not give back the full amount of legal fees that was put into fighting this lawsuit. So you have money that is being spent to stay on the ballot, get on the ballot, and all these other things. And we are grassroots. Okay. And I just want to take a pause to make sure that people understand, when we are saying grassroots, we don't take money from corporate entities, we don't take money from super PACs and all these types of things. There are lots of differences and nuances there. Okay. We take money from the people. Absolutely. Every day, every citizen, regular, degular, schmegular, you have to be a certain age, and you have to be a citizen, and those types of things. That's FEC regulations, that's all state regulations. So you do have to be that type of person. However, in addition to that, you, for the Green Party, you would need to form a political action committee if you wanted to donate to several different candidates. And that you can have a political action committee or a PAC that donates money to you. So for instance, if the National Black Caucus or the North Carolina Black Caucus wanted to form a political action committee, they could do so, and they could give money to candidates that they endorse. That is not a corporate PAC. That is not a foreign entity PAC. That is a Green Party PAC that still follows that donor cycle, where if we're donating to go into that PAC funding, it is still coming from individuals. And the reason that some people do PACs is because you can give more money under PACs than you can give under an individual. It varies from race to race. So I'm not going to go into all of that right now. But the important part is Green Party is able to obtain money from PACs, but they have to follow in the same donor bill of rights that we have with the Green Party. So for instance, I know a lot of people love DSA and PSL and all these other things, but they don't always subscribe to all of our donor Bill of Rights. And they don't always just take money, and it's not accusatory, so just listen to what I'm saying first. They don't always just take money from regular, degular, schmegular people. Sometimes they do get money from other places. We do know the DSA is a socialist branch of the Democratic Party. So they still do get that ActBlue money if they want to. Some of them don't, some of them do. And that's why it's a murky area. And then PSL, I'm not going to knock PSL for anything, because I really don't know where they get their funding from. That's just not my judge. I'm just naming these two. Please understand that. So if they were to have a PAC, and they say we want to donate to a Green Party candidate, we would have to ensure that it fell in line with what the donations for the Green Party would allow. So if, and I'm using DSA for this example, not to take a burn at any DSA members, but I'm using DSA for an example. If they created a PAC for socialist candidates, right? However, some of that money that was coming for the socialist candidates in that PAC was through ActBlue, then our Green Party candidates could not accept that money, because ActBlue, that is the Democrat wing of donation, and we do not espouse to that. So it would not work. Okay. So that is the best example of what I can say about PACs versus super PACs versus things. Yes, the Green Party can accept PAC money. We do have a federal PAC for congressional candidates, which is the Green Congressional Campaign Committee. And they're a separate entity, and they're working to get everything back together now, so they could do more for the federal candidates. However, the point of that is it is an actual PAC, a political action committee, and they are able to give money to candidates. But those donations still follow the Green Party, no corporate, no foreign entity rules and things like that. So I think in North Carolina, they had one of the first PACs that was not funded by big donors and things like that. And one of our candidates, who was in a nonpartisan race, was able to receive funding from it because they did follow those guidelines that were there for the Green Party. So it wasn't a big deal as far as that's concerned. However, I just want to make sure it is known that we do not do anything regarding having any outside forces like APAC and all the APAC entities out there, because APAC is not the only one. We've heard that time and time again. APAC is not the only political action committee that gives money to candidates. We have the APAC tracker, and that's great. They tell you about how much money has been taken for certain areas. I never would have guessed, without APAC tracker and things like that, how much money members of the Black Congressional Caucus have taken from APAC. I was shocked and surprised. That really caught me off guard because I'm like, I'm not seeing the correlation here, but is money all you care about at the end of the day? And then who are you beholden to? And we know that, as Butch Ware says, whoever funds you runs you. So when you look at the votes that they have and the money that they've been given, you can see the direct correlation there. It is all about the money. It is not about the people. Because as Brian was saying, nobody wants to go to war for Israel. Nobody. We shouldn't have to. If you cannot stand up on your own at this point in time, and think about it, really think about it. With Israel and everything that they're doing, they are simultaneously bombing different countries, and all of these different countries are a part of the Greater Israel Plan. So they are simultaneously, bombing all of these different areas, but yet claiming they can't defend themselves. Defend themselves, from what? And why are you bombing all these people if you can't defend yourself? Why would you throw the rock if you're scared of the missile? Like, you wanted to get Iran in this. We all know that at this point in time. You're courting global war, and you expect for everybody to run and save you. We are not the world's savior. We are not the global police. And I don't even want to hear the America First talk or the America First argument anymore. What I want to hear is a solid plan to demonetize Israel from the United States and to put that money back into the hands of the American people. And again, I'm not going to call it America First, because America has not put the people first for so long. It needs to be called something else. It is not what it's supposed to be. So everything that the people in Israel are being able to get from our tax dollars, our government should be working for us to be able to get universal health care, housing, education, daycare, all these types of things that another country is getting off the backs of our tax dollars. It should be available to us. So if you guys could like, subscribe, and comment, visit linktr.ee/green_party_T. You can schedule your candidate interviews, and you can also let me know what's going on in your state or your chapter area so that I can put that information up on our show when we come on next week. We are actually going to have a guest. We're going to have Justin Philippe here, who is running for Congress, and we're going to be interviewing him. I'm so excited. Justin is like a congressional candidate that is not just looking out for himself. He's really looking out for the people. I have seen him work well with other congressional candidates in other states. And I know this personally because being Michael Dublin's campaign manager, they are like piggybacking and they're liking each other's stuff and they're tagging each other and they're doing all this stuff. It's like a nice little, I don't want to say brotherhood because there are women running in there too, or other non-binary people. So I just want to say green hood. There we go. It's like a green hood of just camaraderie when you see these congressional candidates get together, because all of them are just like, hey, you got something going on there? I'll be there. I got your back. And it's so amazing. So Justin is one of those guys that he is out there for the people. He's doing this with good intentions at heart. So please, 6 p.m. Eastern next week, we will be having Justin Philippe on the show. And we're going to be talking about his congressional run. If you have questions, please go to that link tree, and send them to my email, and I'll be able to ask them the questions. Love to do that. I would love to say, hey, Justin, I got a question from so-and-so in so-and-so, and they want to hear about this. Also, huge shout out to my TikTok bestie when I was on TikTok, Political Mike. I spoke to him yesterday, and I love Political Mike so much. He is a great guy, and he was doing all this stuff. I'll go into nursing school, and we just reconnected yesterday because I'm not on TikTok anymore. And he would always come on the show, and we would talk about ranked choice voting. We would talk about ordinances. We would talk about laws and everything. He is a brain trust of green knowledge. So when I talked to him, he was saying that they were trying to get the LA chapter of the Green Party back up and going. And I was like, word. So if you are in the LA area of California, Political Mike is on Instagram. He is also on TikTok, I believe, still, and all the other places you could think of. Please reach out to him, because we do need to make sure we have everything going for the people that are there. And rebuilding something is just as hard as getting it started in the first place. So with everything that's got going on in California, absolutely, we need to have all those chapters up and running, and people moving, grooving, vibing, sliding through the voting system so they can get it done. Shout out to Lawrence Johnson. So I want you guys to remember, I said it's going to be a short show because I came in late, and the Illinois Green Party Green live stream is coming up right after this. So stay tuned to your YouTube. I think they're going to be live on Facebook as well as Twitter/X. So they have many places that they're going to be coming live from. I appreciate everything that you all have done for this channel, that you continue to do, and hopefully we will continue to have interviews and things going on from all aspects. And just want to again acknowledge you all for showing up, showing out, clicking, liking, subscribing, and doing all the things. Ring the bell, ding ding ding, to let us know that you are getting those subscription updates. Other than that, I'm going to say adios amigos, and we are going to call it a night because the green live stream is coming on up. So happy Sunday, happy Green Party tea time, and we'll see you next Sunday with Justin Philippe. Bye guys.